So we're going to set up our lab notebooks for the types of bonds lab. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my title in. So this is the types of bonds. And you're probably doing this on February 9th or 10th. And then I'm going to go ahead and add that to my table of contents. So it's starting on page 35. This is our 11th lab. It's types of bonds. Okay. First up, I'm going to put in my purpose. And the purpose of this lab is to categorize compounds based on their physical properties. So what this means is we're going to have a set of compounds that we're going to run a couple of tests on, and then we're going to use the results of those tests of their physical properties to categorize them based on similar properties. So for our hypothesis, we're going to predict which ones we think are going to be similar. So I'm going to set this up with kind of some fill in the blanks. So we're going to structure this as I think or predict that blank compounds will have similar properties because blank, and then I want you to give a reason. And then I want you to write the same sentence for the other group of compounds. So we're basically going to sort them into two different groups. So then I think that the other compounds will have similar properties because, and then I want you to fill in the blank for that. Now, the compounds that we're going to be using are in your lab handout. So we're going to be using calcium chloride, urea, sucrose, sodium bicarbonate, potassium iodide, and naphthalene. So of those 6, I want you to basically split them into 2 categories. And I want you to say, I think that these compounds will have similar properties because, and then give a reason. And then I think that these other compounds will have similar properties because, and then give a reason. And then after that, we are going to put in our materials and our procedure. So I think I'm just going to cut my materials off. And put my materials on this page. And then on my next page, I'm going to put my procedure. And then after my procedure, I'm going to go ahead and put in observations. And then I'm going to flip to the next page and I'm going to put in my data table. So we have provided your data table for you. So that we're going to put this in similarly to how we put in for the types of elements. So it's a full page that has all the different categories. So you have your name of your compound, its formula, and then the different tests that you're going to run. So its appearance, whether or not it's soluble in water, whether or not it conducts electricity, whether it has a high or low melting point, and then you're just going to arbitrarily sort them into whether you think they're in group A or group B. It's not, at this point, we're not going to differentiate between group A and group B. I just want you to be able to have a space to sort them. So I'm going to put this in my lab notebook by folding it in half. And then I'm going to glue this side into my lab notebook so that it opens up and I can write on it. So then there's no graphs or calculations for this. So after your data table is going to go ahead and be your summary. And that's your lab notebook setup for the Types of Bonds lab.